Hi there, you're with Simon here at English Coach, and today I'm here to talk to you about ignoring and avoiding the negative opinions of others. First off, we're talking about the context of family, friends, and work colleagues. Basically, those three central areas where on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis, you can be getting people's opinions or ideas or criticisms in different ways. How do you differentiate between a well meaning piece of advice or opinion that could potentially help you and something that's kind of hurtful and doesn't actually have any purpose whatsoever in helping you improve yourself or your life? Well, basically, it's like this. When the person is focusing on telling you the things that you might be able to do, strategies and other uh, courses of action that you can take, when they're focused on the process of things that you could do instead, even if you hate their advice, it's nice to appreciate it and tell them thank you because they've been thinking on your problems. They've been thinking about how they would get out of your problem. Even though it's very frustrating to hear when maybe in some cases you've already done what they are insisting that you should try, right? And you've already tried it. Or sometimes you haven't tried it enough and you're kind of using it as a protection. You're kind of protecting your ego. But that's the exception. In most cases, that's not what I'm talking about here today. What I'm talking about here today are people that sit down at the table with you and basically criticize something about you, something that's not good enough in this moment, and not about how you could improve, just that it's not good enough, or that you should be being someone or doing something different, but without actually saying how you would do that and not actually focusing on your reasons for being the way you are. Sometimes you have hard, solid motives for living the way you do, and the other person is not completely aware of that, and also you're not forthcoming in telling them because you may not trust them enough because they are this critical kind of person. So, first thing to remember, and this is absolutely key when we're dealing with people's opinions, people's negative opinions, is remember that what they are saying is a product of them and not a product of you. Even when they are using language that describes your job, your habit, your state of affairs, they are still talking about themselves. Now, we are blinded from that. We're blinded from that because we really expect, usually we expect something positive or something good or something constructive from other people, that can reinforce our sense of self. But most people are not like that. Most people are in actual fact insecure and looking for some kind of attention or looking to provoke some kind of reaction. Those things are the most important things to keep in your awareness when you're talking to this kind of person, that they are looking for attention or a reaction in the first place. There are other things and other reasons why they may do that. Could also be negative, okay? But hang on to those two reasons and look at the person who is talking to you and question for yourself. Don't ask out loud to the person because they will become extremely volatile if you make it obvious to what they're doing. But remember, if the person is making direct criticism about you and it's not constructive criticism, generally there's something missing within them and they are expressing this to get some kind of reaction or to provoke you. A few examples of this can be when you see one of these news people, Now, news people can be great people. Sometimes they just go around distributing news about which supermarkets are selling the cheapest apples, and everybody knows and everybody goes there. I think on the tipping point they call them. There's a term there for them, which is like which means influencer. They're basically an influencer with their idea. But you also have those negative influences, those people that take one thing from the news and feel, oh, I'm completely up to date with the news, with the current affairs, and what a state of affairs it is. It's such a negative world. It's my obligation to make sure everybody knows about this and is miserable about this. So they go around to the neighbors, friends, colleagues, mother and father, sister and brother, daughter and son, and make sure that they can broadcast this bad news on their table. And you'd say that's not actually connected to giving a bad opinion about someone. How is that connected to giving a bad opinion about someone? It's because they're kind of looking for a reaction from you. They're looking for a state of shock. If you tell them that, oh, the government in this state or this government official was found to be corrupt or having a scandal, having some kind of affair, and then they read your face, you're a little bit shocked because you're hearing the news from the first time because you don't stick your head into the news every day. And then they get their little satisfaction. Oh my God, I'm so important, you know? And so this happens all the time, and you have people like that doing that constantly. And they are generally within the same group of people who are capable of sitting down at the table and, gossiping about other people in the family, gossiping about people in the street where you live or other streets nearby, giving you the bad news about them and potentially gossiping about you as well. They get some kind of kick out of this. They get some kind of satisfaction out of giving you the bad news. Now, the other side is that you've got a person who's just very shameless, and they'll come to your house and they'll tell you what you're doing wrong. They'll say, listen, you're doing this wrong. It's not like that. And they don't really understand. In fact, a lot of these people know less than you do on the subject, and they come in and they narrate everything, and they say, listen, you're doing it wrong. You're wrong because of this, you're wrong because of that. And they've done no research. They don't know what they're talking about. It's pure opinion. It's like a Facebook expert. Watch out for Facebook experts that come in because they're trying to kind of almost release their load on you, release the weight that they have on their shoulders onto you, by naysaying the things that you're doing right sometimes. Say, oh, it's not working, naysaying. And sometimes they're just testing you to make sure that you're certain about what you're doing, but generally it's not for a positive outcome. It's not because they have a positive intention, okay? Sometimes they do have a positive intention and it got messed up somewhere along the way and they give you a bad opinion or they criticize you directly on certain aspects of your behavior or the way you dress or the way you eat or the way you administrate your family. Now, when you look at that person, you need to make sure that you keep in mind that they are looking for a reaction or they are looking to provoke you. It's completely necessary for you to realize that. What happens when you start thinking that they have some kind of point or when they put you in a state of doubt is you go on ruminating and carrying that demon that they sent you for days. But is that their fault? No, it's not their fault. It's your responsibility to remember that when the information is coming from a person with problems, you're taking on their negative ideas, their negative thoughts. If a person with problems comes to me and makes certain criticisms of me, okay, and I look at their life and I say, oh, there's a hole here, there's a hole there, and also they're positioning themselves in a very, rude, impolite, or inappropriate way, I know that I have two options: silence or agree with them and say goodbye. You don't need people like that for very long in your life. You can spend 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and each time they present signs of this behavior, cut down the time you spend with them. Remember that their opinions and their ideas and their problems are not your problems, are not your opinions, are not your ideas. That positivity and optimism is something that we should share collectively. And when people share negativity collectively, beware, watch and observe. And watch and observe the person when they share a bad opinion about you, when they share bad news, when they're gossiping about other people, and beware about that. Beware about how harmful it is, not in one day or 1 week, but over 2 years or 3 years of socializing with that person and having that bad influence in your ears every week or every month of the year for many years. It will limit you. It will cut off some of your positive energy. And if you have a person taxing your positive energy, you need to cut them off, because positive energy is something that we need to be always creating more of. It has to be abundant. Life comes with a whole lot of problems, as if you need someone to tell you all of your defects without any way of you being able to understand how to improve them, and then go away feeling proud of themselves that they achieved something in their day, that they were able to point out your faults. You know, that is the absolute opposite of what anyone needs. What we need is people to talk positively. And if you're in a rut, that they tell you, yes, you can do something about it. Yes, there is a way. And even if that sounds a little bit heavy or a little bit hard on you, be open to people like that, because if they are showing you the way, it's a lot different than criticizing you. If they have a track record of success, if they know what they are talking about, you can trust them. If they have a history of succeeding in that area and they're giving you advice, then you're lucky. But if they are naysayers and they bring their negative opinions into your life, it's a waste of your time and it's a waste of your positive energy. So that's all I want to say today. Remember that a lot of children, little young children, will fight for attention by either doing something very, very good, like some kind of star jump or a flip or something to get their parents' attention, or break something or say something they know that they're not supposed to say, and attract their parents' attention for that feeling of, oh, I'm special, oh, I'm getting the attention. People who drain your energy are exactly the same. If they can't get attention from you being positive, they'll get attention from you being negative, and they will try to drain it out of you. So beware of that. Make sure you can look behind the curtain, see who is actually who, and judge each case by case on how they word their criticisms, and beware that negative energy is a bad influence in your life, and positive energy can be absolutely magical. It can keep your optimism high, it can keep you believing in solutions, and it can keep you active, and it can keep you busy doing the things that you need to do to continue having a great life. Enjoy this day, enjoy this week, and I'll see you next time on English Coach.